So after I did that video on zero tolerance, through a couple of the comments that you guys made, I started to realize that there's actually a few more first-person shooters on the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, other than Duke Nukem 3D, and I found a few of them. So I'm going to show them to you. I'm going to show you Duke Nukem 3D. I'm going to show you a few others. So here they are. So first up is Duke Nukem 3D. I couldn't get a good box shot of it. This is the best picture I could find on the internet, but anyways, this game was not released in North America or Europe. This was only released in South America after the Sega Genesis was dead in most other regions. Really, I don't think this would have passed Sega's quality control in this country anyways. And here we go. First thing you'll notice is the levels are nothing like the actual Duke Nukem 3D levels. Nothing at all. I mean, other than the gun sprites and the enemies, it's not really a Duke Nukem 3D game at all. And what the hell was that thing? I don't remember that in the game. But anyways, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. It's not a very good game, and it's not Duke Nukem 3D, so I just had to show you that. Thought I'd show you that first. Now we'll move on. This is Bloodshot for the Mega Drive. It was called Battle Frenzy for the Sega Genesis and Sega CD. There you go, Battle Frenzy, what it's often referred to as. And I thought I picked options there, but apparently not. So this is the game. This is probably the most impressive, scaling 3D graphics I've seen on the Sega Genesis, just period. This game looks really good. And it really makes me question what I've always thought of the Sega Genesis. I mean, if it could do this, we could have... Why didn't we have Wolfenstein 3D port? Really, I mean, this is phenomenal looking. The colors are good. There's no scan lines like there was in Duke Nukem 3D. There's a full view distance, unlike zero tolerance. And look at the screen size. The screen size is much bigger than zero tolerance. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind is when you're playing these on an emulator, which I'm doing because obviously I don't have these, is you can't get an exact, accurate feel for what the speed would have ran like on the Genesis. Sometimes the actual games on the Genesis run really slow, and you play it on an emulator, and it runs fine. And I have zero tolerance, and I can say on the Genesis it runs perfectly fine. So, how this actually ran on the Sega Genesis, if you've ever played this on the Mega Drive or the Sega Genesis or the Sega CD, apparently the Sega CD version is the same game, just better music and cutscenes. They didn't actually take advantage of the extra power of the Sega CD. The graphics are apparently the exact same game, which really makes you wonder if they pulled this off with just the Genesis alone. They really could have done something special with the extra scaling hardware in the Sega CD. I mean, first-person shooters on the Sega CD should have definitely been a viable option. But I mean, other than this, I don't think there was any. I mean, it's safe to say a really good port of Wolfenstein 3D at the very least, could have been done on the Sega CD. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But yeah, this is definitely the most impressive graphics I've seen on the Genesis. I mean, hands down, by a long shot. This is really impressive. This game did come out in 1994, same year as Zero Tolerance. I'm surprised I've never heard of this game. I'm surprised this game wasn't more popular. So anyways, this is the last. This is Corporation. Now I don't know if this was released for the Genesis or not, and if it was, if it's under the same name. The only box shot I could find was for the Mega Drive. Well, this isn't scaling 3D, this is this real 3D? And what the heck is this? Apparently there's like a whole menu system at the bottom of the screen. This might take me a while to figure out what's going on. I mean, obviously the bullets and the alarms and is that a video camera? The video cameras are 2D sprites, scaled sprites, but this is a 3D environment, isn't it? This is really unique. This is definitely impressive just for... You know, this game's definitely something that you'd have to get used to. You'd have to really try and figure out what all that stuff on the bottom of the screen does. Looks like you can use stuff and pick up stuff. There's a wrench. I wonder if you must be able to repair stuff. Yeah, I mean, without the instruction book, you'd really have to play around in this one to figure out what to do, but potentially this looks pretty good. So anyways, I'm not going to get too much into this really. I don't know what I'm doing, but it just goes to show you. I mean, that Bloodshot and Battle Frenzy game was just unbelievable. The graphics on that, you know, the scaling 3D graphics on that are definitely something I wouldn't have even expected on the Genesis Mega Drive. And this game here, it's like a 3D first-person shooter almost. You know, definitely something pretty unique. Never heard of this game before. Someone posted in the comments that they had played this game, and I started looking it up. It was even hard to find looking it up, so definitely not a common game, I'm guessing this, but it just makes you wonder. I mean, Wolfenstein 3D, could it have been done on the Genesis alone after looking at that Bloodshot Battle Frenzy? Like I said though, the speed of an emulator compared to the speed of the real thing sometimes. So if you played Bloodshot or Battle Frenzy on the Genesis and it runs as smooth as you're seeing in this video, let me know. That maybe the downside of the game is that it runs a lot choppier than what you're seeing here. You know, like Doom on the Super Nintendo, or even worse. Doom on the Super Nintendo is kind of borderline. You know, it's not unplayable by any means, but it's definitely slow. But anyways, if you played Bloodshot or Battle Frenzy on the Genesis or on the Sega CD, post a comment. How is it play on the real hardware? But anyways, that's that. I just wanted to show these fine examples here. Like I said, most of them very rare games that you've probably never seen before. But they're out there, and I just wanted to show them.